On the first day of September in 1859, if you were gazing at the sun, you'd totally notice something crazy happening. It was wrapping up a 10-year cycle, right in its peak time of action, and luckily, or maybe it was meant to be, this dude named Richard Carrington, an astronomer, was checking out the surface of our star when bam, it suddenly went boom. In the blink of an eye, this massive plasma column, bigger than Earth, detached from the sun, hurling super energetic particles into space, zooming at thousands of kilometers per second. 17 hours and 40 minutes later, these particles hit Earth and caused the biggest geomagnetic storm ever recorded. When those sun particles hit Earth, most of them, protons and electrons, racing at insane speeds, messed big time with our planet's magnetic field. The craziest auroras ever seen lit up the night sky. They were visible even in cities far away from the poles. But even though the auroras were all mesmerizing and caught everyone's eye, the real deal was invisible. The sun's charged particles were guided by Earth's magnetic field, which kept changing like crazy in response. Down on the ground, this magnetic field dance induced electric currents in anything that could conduct electrons. Back then, humanity was still in the baby stages of electricity, but we can kinda imagine the impact by looking at the stories of telegraph operators. Loads of telegraph lines in different areas just went kaput, zapping the operators and making transmission towers shoot sparks. That storm became known as the Carrington Event, and if it happened again today, many researchers agree that our whole tech setup would be toast. To make things worse, this year we're back in the peak solar activity period, just like in 1859. News is buzzing on all social media platforms, and some even claim that a new Carrington event is on the horizon this year. A fresh wave of panic sets in, and the fear of reverting to a pre-technology civilization stage hits even the most optimistic folks. But how realistic is this idea? Solar flares are natural phenomena, but they can have some serious impacts here on Earth. When those charged particles reach our planet, they can mess with all sorts of things, from satellites to power grids. Yep, you heard that right. Solar flares can mess with our tech, and that includes the internet. Experts are warning that we could be in for a rough ride this year when it comes to solar flares. With the sun entering a new phase of its cycle, there's a higher chance of seeing more of these powerful eruptions. Sounds like trouble, right? But hold up, before we start panicking, let's break down what this could actually mean for us and our beloved internet. First off, solar flares can mess with satellite communications. You know those satellites that beam down signals for our internet? Well, they're up there in space, right in the path of those charged particles. So if a big solar flare hits, it could scramble those signals faster than you can say, buffering. And it's not just satellites. Solar flares can also cause power surges in electrical grids, which could knock out internet infrastructure on the ground. Imagine trying to load your favorite cat videos with no power. Plus, there's the economic side of things. Our modern world relies on the internet for pretty much everything, from shopping to banking to binge-watching Netflix. So if the internet goes down, even temporarily, it could spell big trouble for businesses and economies around the globe. The internet is the backbone of our economy, and any disruption to its services could have far-reaching consequences. We're talking about billions of dollars in lost revenue and productivity if things were to go south. Truth is, no one knows for sure if the solar flares this year are going to affect us deeply. Not even the scientists, and anyone or any news saying otherwise is lying. Our understanding of the sun still doesn't let us predict when solar eruptions or coronal mass ejections will happen accurately. In fact, we now know that solar eruptions with the same intensity as the one that caused the Carrington event can occur even during periods of low solar activity. The truth is, it's impossible to predict. It could literally happen right now. Yikes, that's a lot riding on those solar flares. But before we start building underground bunkers and stockpiling canned goods, let's talk about what we can actually do to prepare for this potential threat. First off, stay informed. Keep an eye on the latest space weather forecasts, just like you would with regular weather. If there's a solar flare headed our way, you'll want to know about it. Next, protect your tech. Invest in surge protectors for your electronics, and maybe consider unplugging sensitive devices during a solar storm. Better safe than sorry, right? And that's pretty much all we can do besides hope for the best. Solar flares might be a cause for concern, but with a little preparation and a whole lot of science, hopefully we can weather the storm. Thanks for watching this video, and until next time.